Well, the pandemic has forced the Marshall County Sheriff's Office to make some changes. Our Kelly Kennedy reports what they're doing to make things safer for both inmates and deputies.
A coronavirus outbreak at a jail could be devastating. Marshall County Sheriff Phil Sims says they're taking precautions to make sure that doesn't happen.
We're cleaning. Employees are washing their hands. They all have the PPE materials, masks and gloves. We have a crew that walks one in, cleans, and turn around, walks it, cleans it again. So we're constantly cleaning all day. On-site visitation has been stopped, and cleaning crews aren't being sent out anymore. Before anyone is booked in the jail, they're evaluated by medical staff. We got a sally port area set up outside, kind of like a intake area, and right now we have our medical staff that screens all the inmates as they come in to check for symptoms, fever, medical questionnaire about the COVID-19. So we'll do all that initially, then we make a determination if we need to quarantine or what we need to do, what kind of medical care someone needs.
If an inmate does start showing symptoms, they'll be isolated and monitored for 3 days.
We have a full medical staff here, which also includes having access to a doctor, nurse practitioner, to a clinic or facilities here in Marshall County. So they would make determination whether or not they need to be tested and going further.
Deputies now practice social distancing when responding to calls, and all employees at the jail are checked for COVID-19 symptoms each day.
About 2 or 3 times a day, before shift, sometimes during the shift or when they're here in the office, just to keep, check on effects or any kind of shortness of breath or fever or any kind of symptoms or something like that.
The Sheriff's Office is still issuing pistol permits, but they're encouraging people to apply for them online. You can still come here to the Sheriff's Office and pick them up. Putting the Valley first, Kelly Kennedy, WZDX News.